Hi, my name's Ian and welcome to the channel. If you've not been here before and you have been before, then welcome back. In this video I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on how well the van is holding up 5 years after completion, and also with the fact that a van build is never complete. And so since the completion there's been a number of jobs carried out on the van, things have had to be replaced, etc, etc. So I thought I'd run through those. But also as well, while I'm at it as well, I thought I'd give you an update on what's going to be going on in 2026. And so I'll come back to you in a bit with that, but let's go on a little van tour. Just before doing the van tour, what I did is I put up a little intro of what the van looked like before we started it, and obviously then it's just a run through then of what the van was like during the process of the construction of it. So we'll do that first, and then I'll come back to you on the actual van tour. So starting off at the front of the van, we've still got the swivel seats that I put in there, they're still working fine, and also as well the extra table that I put in a while ago. This swivels round so you can, excuse the squeakiness of it, but that's obviously moved round so I can sit and work on my computer, or I can work on a computer, etc. on that one. Same with this side as well. Obviously we've got the table there, that all comes out if necessary. All the cupboards at the top there all working fine. I've now got lights in all of them as well. I've just excused the mess in there because we're actually living in the van. Yeah, all the upper cupboard lights for the clothing, etc. have all got lights inside them. Also as well down here as well, we've got a few bits and bobs in there. Rice, pasta, all that sort of stuff lives in there. So again, having lights in here to actually see what you've got in there is great. Then obviously the same with some clothes down on the far end here as well. The bed still on the original IKEA mattress that we bought with a mattress topper on it as well is what we've got. That's pretty comfortable really. I must say I've not really got any complaints about it. Leanne, my wife, sort of moans about it a little bit, thinks it could be a bit firmer, but I prefer actually slightly softer softer bed on there. So yeah, I've got the cupboard down here. We keep bread and bits and bobs and food all in there. Same with all these cupboards really. Also we've got lots of drawers there for keeping the cutlery in. They're all working fine. Still got the original cooker in here as well that I fitted. Don't really use that a lot actually. If I was to rebuild this van again, I don't think I would bother putting a gas cooker in. We use it very little. We have a on top of the worktop here, we've got a one ring induction hob which we use most of the time, you know, if we're on an electric hookup, or sometimes we'll use it off the power bank that I've got as well when we're off grid. That tends to work for most of the things we want to do, so the amount of gas we actually physically use for cooking is very, very minimal. So as I said, if I was to build again, I'd probably put a 2-ring induction hob in instead. I've still got the Victory Frigo fridge, that's working fantastic. Just obviously got food and stuff like that in there at the moment. No issues with that at all. And then in here we've got the pull-out drawers that I put in. Again, obviously I have to excuse the amount of mess we got in here because we're living in the van, but they all still work fine. Obviously bits and bobs in there just to nets for holding stuff. Obviously just got a wardrobe here, and a wardrobe here as well. Just move back there, see that a bit better. And then the bathroom, just had to the other day I had to lubricate this this sliding door. It's just starting to wear a bit here actually, but obviously it's because it's sort of slapping again. It's sort of, there's quite a bit of movement in there. It goes against this as it's running through, so there's a few scratch marks in it and that. But again, you know, we're looking at 5 years and we've actually lived in this van permanently now. Well, I think it was the end of September we moved in, but we've also already done 3 months in the van earlier this year. We did 3 months in it back in 2023, so we've lived in this van a lot. So and then obviously then we got the little shower room here. Oops, my towels fell off. Yeah, it's tight little space, but you get so used to living in it that I personally don't miss our house at all. We've now rented that out, and so we're now living in this van permanently at the moment, and I'll give you an update on what's going to be happening in 2026. So since the original build that I did, we've now added this shelf in here. It's quite handy for just keeping stuff on at night, things you might need for first thing in the morning. The other thing I did the other week, which is a separate video on that, I replaced this skylight cover, and I also replaced the one in the bathroom as well, and I also replaced this big one as well. Obviously it's a bit of a murky old day outside, so they're wet, but there is a full video on why I replaced those. They were basically become defective, so there's a couple of videos there, one on the reasons why I replaced them, and there's also one on replacing them themselves. So with regards to the heating system in the van, I've got two forms of heating. So we've got a Truma combi boiler in here, which is obviously could be used for heating up hot water and obviously heating the van as well. And come across a little trick actually, especially this time of year because it's winter, is if you've got the heater running, you don't need to run the water heater, because basically it's like there's like a water jacket, and basically the combi boiler will also heat up your water without you actually turning the water on to heat itself. So obviously it's a double thing, you know, it works really well that you've just got your heater going and it's also warming some water up for you at the same time, actually, rather than actually having to physically put the hot water on. And then down underneath the driver's seat, I've also got a diesel heater in here as well. So when we're off grid, and we don't want to go running the combi boiler because one, we haven't got any electric hookup, or we're trying to save gas for some reason, like when we were in Iceland earlier this year in the Faroe Islands, there is actually no gas whatsoever for refilling my tank, because basically my gas tank is under the van, so it has to be filled like it's a petrol station type of place for it. So that's the reason we've got a diesel heater as well as the combi boiler. As I said, it's about a week before Christmas filming this at the moment, so that's why we've got Christmas cards up. You'll notice no Christmas tree, no room in there for a Christmas tree. But and then up here we then got control panels. That's the control panel for the solar system. Then obviously we've got smoke alarm, carbon monoxide alarm. That's just a light that we use obviously when it's coming in and out of the van. And then we've got then the control panel for the Sargent electric system, and then the control panel there for the Truma combi boiler. And then that's just a meter there which tells me how much gas I've got left in my tank. And obviously fire extinguisher as well there. So as I said, the van's been built now for 5 years, and it's had some absolute abuse with regards to actually some of the places we've been. As I said, we've been to Iceland earlier this year, and some of the roads in Iceland are absolutely horrendous. If you ever watched Outback Truckers and they're going down the roads where they say about the corrugations, well, that's what some of the roads are like in Iceland. In fact, when we were in Norway 2 years ago as well, we had very similar roads to that as well. So the van's had one hell of a shakedown, and the fact that it's still in one piece is quite amazing, really. That goes down to how well I built the van, I think. But I do sort of sometimes think that I overbuilt the van. Actually, I have over-constructed it. But then, as I said, when we were in Iceland this year, I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I think I built it the right way, because otherwise I think it would have fell apart. So, what's the plan for 2026 then? So, what we decided to do back in September of this year, in fact, it's all happened really, really quickly. We sort of decided around the end of August time that we were going to put our house up for rent, because we've, as I said, we spent nearly 3 months away in the van back this year, 2025, and also some other trips away as well. And we're planning on spending at least 3 months in the van away in 2026, and probably more holidays than that, because we're both now retired, so we've got plenty of time. So we just thought, well, might as well rent the house out and then use that money to help finance our trips, because obviously I've drawn in a small amount of pension, but not enough to keep us going if we carried on living in the house. So hence the reason that's why we rented the house out. So the plan is in late January we're going to be getting on a ferry from Portsmouth down to Bilbao in northern Spain, and then we're going to be doing a tour of northern Spain across down into Portugal. We're not quite sure how far down Portugal we're going to get, or how far down Spain we're going to get either, but the eventual plan is that 3 months later we're going to come back through France and then use Le Shuttle to come back through. But I must say, originally when we first looked at doing this trip, I didn't want to book a return journey. All I wanted to do was book the journey from the UK down into Spain, and I've got my 90 days that I can use for the Schengen rules and that. But we didn't really want to commit to somewhere where we're going to come back into the UK from, because we weren't quite sure really how well the holiday was going to work. So we might get into Spain, have a fantastic time in Spain and Portugal, and just think, oh, we might as well just get the ferry from Bilbao back to Portsmouth again. But then we might just think, oh well, we fancy going up into part of France and then sort of come back from St Malo or from Cherbourg or Le Havre or somewhere like that. But I wanted somewhere something that I could book which I could cancel without costing us too much money. So we decided to book Le Shuttle coming back, which if I want to cancel it, it's only going to cost me 20 quid, and then I can then come back via a different route. But as I said, we may come back up through France, we just don't know at the moment. But the plus point of this holiday that we're going to be doing next year is that I'll be hopefully slinging out videos a lot more regularly. Well, no, not more regularly. There will be regular videos coming out, and they'll be pretty, not live, but they should be coming out sort of no more than a week after wherever we've been has happened. Whereas the trip we did earlier this year, when we went to the Faroe Islands and on to Iceland, we were still living at home, and part of the house insurance cover was basically you don't go advertising that you're on holiday. So hence the reason that all those videos that I then put together for the Faroe Islands and Iceland were all put out after we came back. But because we've got somebody renting our house or somebody living in it, and basically all we've got is buildings cover on there, we're not going to worry about any content or anything like that because they're not in there, then we can sort of advertise more that we're away without it basically compromising any insurance. So that's the plan. So I shall wish you a happy Christmas, as it's a week before Christmas, and also I hope you have a prosperous new year, and look forward to seeing you next year when we put out some more videos. I mean, there are going to be some more videos coming out, just general ones that I've got put together, which I'll sling out over Christmas. And as I said, late January we'll be off onto this trip down to Spain. I've still got a bit of service work to do on the van as well, so that'll be I'll be putting a video out on that as well before we go. So yeah, more to come on that one. So anyway, any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers.